Well, hello everyone, and good evening, and welcome to yet another edition of Uncivil Law. As always, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and we're here with some micro tea. A very short filing, but it represents perhaps a new leaf in the case because we have cooperation between the parties, between the attorneys. That's right. We got a joint motion. Who's this from? Brown or Salts? Yes. Yeah, so that's the thing that's happening now. So we're going to cover this little bit of micro tea as our amuse-bouche for tomorrow. And as always, the hearing will be tomorrow. It's already scheduled on my page. So that is 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time. Adjust for other time zones accordingly. And we will listen to the hearing. Now, of course, I can't rebroadcast the audio, which means I'll either have to relay it as it's happening in real time or describe it or whatever. But we'll play with it and see what happens. All right, so great. Let's do that. Let's read this little bit of micro tea and perhaps maybe realize it's Christmas Day. And I don't know, we're getting along now or something. So yeah, let's read this along. It's a joint motion. It's a joint motion from both of them to file the second supplemental declaration of Michael Brown. Hooray! That's good news. We got cooperation between the attorneys. Maybe we made friends. All right, so we'll just read this. It's not really long, but yeah, the plaintiffs and defendants move together. They're together, united, for move to leave to file under seal the second supplemental declaration. So this is relating to the thing that they want to file under seal with Laurie and Barnhart, and Brown had previously moved it under seal unilaterally, and now they're moving it together. As friends. They're both agreeing. On January the 13th, the plaintiffs filed the declaration of Laurie Ann Barnhart. Ms. Barnhart is a non-party witness. The evidence, as well as certain emails Ms. Barnhart has sent to defendant's counsel prior to signing of the declaration, contains sensitive health information the parties wish to keep from the public records to protect Ms. Barnhart's privacy, which, fine, fair. It's, no reason to necessarily put everything in the public eye. It's reasonable. Defendants wish to rely on the sensitive information with respect to their response to the declaration. The parties believe this information in and attached to qualifies for sealing. The parties agree that the information should be sealed. It's Christmas. And then they go into the standards that apply to sealing. The local rules of this district recognize a strong presumption in favor of public access to court files. Yes, there is a presumption of public access. The Ninth Circuit has strongly recognized the presumption of public access to documents attached to dispositive motions, which this isn't a dispositive motion, but let's look past that. It appears that because the materials referenced in the supplemental declaration of Michael Brown are submitted in connection with a dispositive motion, I don't know, man, that's reaching. I guess in some sense that has to be true, but yeah. The court must find compelling reasons to order the documents sealed. To induce this court's protection, the party must articulate compelling reasons, supported by specific factual findings that outweigh the general history of access and the public policies favoring disclosure, such as public interest in understanding the judicial process. The decision to seal documents is one best left to the sound discretion of the trial court upon consideration of the relevant facts and circumstances of the particular case. The need to protect medical privacy qualifies in general as a compelling reason. Indeed, in a prior case, the court cited HIPAA as a basis for finding a compelling reason to seal information. For these reasons, the parties respectfully request the court order the supplemental declaration be sealed. The parties further request should the court deny this motion, in whole or in part, the court or the clerk not to unseal docket 52 until the parties have an opportunity to confer regarding where defendants wish to withdraw the unprotected materials before they become part of the public record or proceed to file them in the public record. A stipulated proposed order is filed herewith. They agree as to what the judge should do. And then we get to see the joint signatures together. We get the signature from Brown, for the attorneys from the defendant, and then we get the attorney from Salts, the attorneys for the plaintiff. A joint motion. It's Christmas time at all. So yeah, I don't know whether or not this represents a systemic change or we're reading too much into it, but I'm kind of hoping it represents some, after the kind of things that the parties have been, the attorneys have been throwing at each other, in this case, and it's gotten really ugly between the attorneys. It's probably gotten more ugly between the attorneys than it's arguably gone between Toddy and Katie at this point. I mean, you could at least make a colorable claim. So you wouldn't think they'd be able to agree on anything. But apparently, they were able to agree on something. So maybe someone sat someone down and's like, we need to have a do-over. So, yeah, this will probably come up tomorrow as well, because why not? Everyone's in the same room. So maybe it represents a new spirit of cooperation, a spirit of not completely raking the other attorneys over the coals for no particular reason. That'd be good. Yeah. How they get medical records? Well, first of all, it's not clear that they are medical records as such. It's medical information. They were just referring to HIPAA as a way of why medical information can be kept confidential. And how they get it? Because Lorianne gave it to Brown. Because Lorianne was talking to Brown. So the emails, because Brown has it. So Lorianne gave it to him. That's how. So, yeah. January 13th. That's happy birthday to me. That's happy birthday to me as well. My birthday's on January 13th. So me and Kathy share a birthday. That's very cool. Could the attorneys have heard informally from the court already? Unlikely. Possible. Someone might send someone an email. Possible. The Michaels are able to act like big boys, maybe. Yeah, there was only a one footnote to say, yeah, the defendant's attorney disagrees about whether or not they're attorney. They still put that in there, but yeah. So I don't know. Well, they were able to agree on something, man. They're able to agree on something. So I'll take what I can get. Does this mean going for documents will be public? No, it doesn't mean that. We're talking about sealing individual documents, not the entire case. So it's just sealing this one document, not the entire case. What about jurisdiction? Yeah. Out of curiosity, at what point would you fire a client? Long ago, if this were me. It depends how much I was being paid. And also depends if they paid me in advance. Yeah, I understand, Maria, why you're getting tired of this. KJ already gave a warning to you about the hearing tomorrow? Really? She gave me a warning? What did KJ say? As it will amaze absolutely no one, I don't really use Twitter. So if KJ gave me a warning on Twitter, I honestly haven't seen it because I don't really use Twitter. My account really just exists to publish the fact that my videos exist. Also, didn't KG say that she was no longer using social media and Twitter? Didn't she say that she was just going to be using it for like making announcements of her videos? Did she already go back on that in like the last 2 days? What did Katie warn me about? Just incidentally. In Super Chat, people are asking questions. Is a joint filing also a joint fee? I don't know if there's any fee. There's no real fee. I mean, yeah, well, for the irrelevant time. So it depends who wrote it. But yeah, I mean, probably not. It's probably Brown wrote this, and Salt's just signed off on it. So it's not really any time on that. She said that lasted only 2 days. Yeah. It lasted like 10 hours. Yeah, didn't she say like recently that she was done with Twitter because it was a toxic wasteland? I'd look at her Twitter. That's okay. I'm not going to do that. I don't need that aggravation in my life. Take some questions as long as we're here. Why not? We'll turn into question and answer time regarding the Toddy case. So I'll try to answer as many of your questions as possible. Will Katie ever have to appear in court in Seattle? Unlike, well, it depends. I suppose if the court keeps jurisdiction, but even if they do have to appear, because of remote appearance, it would just be probably online, so it really won't have to matter that much. Katie cycles with everything, including quitting social media. Admin room. Okay, give me a second. Let me look at the admin room. Hold on. She wants all the commentators to stop talking about her? No. That's okay. I'm not really talking about her so much as I'm talking about the case, which is a matter of public record. The case, the attorneys just went on in some detail explaining how there's a presumption of public access and things are supposed to be in the open in court proceedings. The attorneys just wrote like a whole page about it. Will I be posting the live court hearing tomorrow? I can't post it. And if we're watching the hearing, if not, how can we watch it? I'm reluctant to give out the information on how people can watch it themselves because there's a limited number of access for the Zoom call, and I'm concerned about other people's ability to get in who might need to get in. So I'm a little bit reluctant to give. There's nothing stopping me from giving out the access, giving out the information to everybody. But I'm a little bit reluctant. I think Emily's going to do it anyway, so my concern will probably be mooted by what she does. But I've been a little bit concerned on sharing the information for pragmatic reasons, because if everyone who's on here, for example, jumps on that call, it's going to get completely flooded, and that might not be good. So, yeah. So the sealing documents that have already been filed. They seal. Why'd you ask the same question 3 times? But yeah, they're sealing this one document. She posted rules for media and federal. Okay, well noted. I wonder if Swanson's footing the bill. Maybe. If I were Katie's lawyer, what would you offer to try to settle? At this point, settling is really hard, and I don't know what I don't know what I don't know. I don't have enough information to answer that question, because I don't know what resources Katie has, like if she has money or something. So it would depend. I don't have enough information. She's saying there's federal court rules to not share the court hearing. She's right. She's right. There are. That's exactly why I can't share the audio. She's right. There are court rules. Yeah. So I can't rebroadcast, which I'm not going to do. So but I can describe it. I can describe what I'm listening to. I mean, I could describe. I mean, just think about it logically, right? If this was happening in the real world, right? I'd be able to listen to it, and then I'd be able to recite back what I heard. Right, or I'd be able to take notes and recite what I heard. So the only thing that's different now is because I can be listening to the call and also saying what's happening in real time. So yeah, but she's right. You can't rebroadcast the audio. Don't federal courts have jurisdiction over the entire country? The federal courts collectively do, but not every particular court. No, it depends what you mean by jurisdiction, and also it depends what areas, but yeah. Can either client be like, I'm not going to pay for your pissing contest? Yeah, probably. Would that be? We better for you to record the call and then relay us to us on your own time instead of live. I don't. I think I'm allowed to record. I just can't rebroadcast it. But there will be a transcript anyway. Eventually, is this not the real world? I mean, not as much. So I can give play-by-play, yeah, basically, and to give a play-by-play. Since Toddy has barely mentioned this case now, it's being focused on the attorney. Is Toddy being charged for salty fighting against Brown? Yeah, kind of, yeah. Both sides are charging their clients, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I watch a lot of true crime cases. They take notes and describe what happens. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen with headphones and relay what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm just going to quote it verbatim, or am I just going to describe it? I probably won't try to keep up with it. And I was thinking about this. It's like, I could probably actually do it where I'd actually be listening and relaying it back in real time. But that would mean that I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't read the chats. I couldn't read anything. It'd just be me, like, basically with my eyes closed, basically, because I'd be avoiding the distraction, just reading or listening and repeating. So I don't think that's very productive, but I think I might throw in quotes, but I don't think I'll be relaying it verbatim. Just because she knows the rules doesn't mean she'll follow them. What time I'm going live tomorrow? It's 10 a.m. East. It's 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. It's already on my schedule. How long will this be tomorrow? Could be 10 minutes. It could be a lot longer. Do you think finding the jurisdiction is a waste of money at this point? Yes. Could I look into the home security case that's going on? I believe a home security system was used to stalk a few women from someone who worked them. Please. That sounds pretty interesting. Maria, if you could put that description in my story suggestions on Discord, that'd be great. Break down the legalese? Yeah. I think, yeah, I'll describe it. Kind of dramatic pantomime interpretation? Probably not. Can I please give the time you'll be streaming that one more? Yes, it's 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Besides the legal terminology might get frustrating for people in chat. Commentary of the court hearing is enough. We don't need to overstep and get too involved. Half of Twitter is already included in Brown's declaration. That's fair. I'd rather have it relayed. Yeah, that's right. Maybe take notes and then go live after? No, I can describe it as it's happening. I think that's fine. Yeah, do a quick note, describe it. Then after transcript comes out, we can stream it again and go in more detail. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. So yeah, we'll just do it that way. If you want them outside the court's jurisdiction, or at least outside FBI jurisdiction. No, that's okay. What's the reason for not broadcasting the audio? Does Supreme Court release the audio of their proceedings? Yes, they do. I don't know. Even the Supreme Court doesn't. Well, to be fair, the Supreme Court has gotten more open with the recordings on audio over time. The Supreme Court didn't used to release audio at all until the end of the term. So you didn't used to get the audio for cases until the very end of the term. And then they started releasing audio at the end of the week. And now because of COVID and stuff, they're releasing them as they're happening live. So that's pretty good. But the federal courts in general don't allow you to bring in recording devices. So you can't record if you're in the courtroom. So it's just an extension of what we used to have before. You said there's an assumption everything Toddy claimed is true. Can you explain how this works? I thought Toddy has to prove the allegations. Yes, they will eventually. It's this for the you assume everything Toddy says is true for the purpose of the motion to dismiss. You wouldn't assume everything that she says is true ultimately. Of course, everything has to be proven. But it's just for the motion to dismiss. So it's just for a limited purpose. And the reason that you assume everything Toddy says is true for the motion to dismiss is because the idea is that why you would dismiss is if everything they say is true, that they still don't have a case. That's what the motion dismisses, right? You don't have a case. And so you assume everything they say is true because if everything you say is true, we still win under the law. So that's how that works. JK is bleeding about going to the FBI now. Do I think the judge will also rule on the case to dismiss? It could. Do I think they will? If I was a betting man, no, but it could do that. Emily has the thought the judge might rule on all these filings tomorrow. That's definitely a possibility. I don't know if the judge will go that far and rule on all the things tomorrow, but that's possible. If too many call in, would that mean that you and Emily might be able to listen? Yeah, that too. I'm also looking out for myself a little bit. Federal courts are very conservative in this regard. Yeah, that's true. When is the hearing? It's tomorrow. Will both clients be on the call? Almost certainly. If I had to guess. I mean, I don't know for sure, but yeah, probably. Can the judge decide all this BS means that Brown's conceding jurisdiction? Oh, yeah. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible that the judge could say something that Brown did along the way is a waiver of jurisdiction. Now, I don't personally think that, but a judge could definitely disagree with me. So, yeah, a judge could definitely say that one or more of the things that Brown has done amounts to a waiver of jurisdiction. So that could happen for sure. Is it going to be KJ and her husband or just KJ? It's just Katie that's being sued, right? So it would just be Katie. And without a crystal ball, which is her. She has talked to the FBI because Satsi got them involved. I feel like they need to have jurisdiction handled. The FBI is investigating hacking, so wouldn't they be paying semi-attention? I don't know if the FBI is investigating hacking or not. If you have to assume everything is true, isn't that an admission that it is? No. So the motion is denied. How can they say it's lies and fight it? Because you assume that it's true for the purposes of the motion to dismiss. And then once the motion to dismiss is over, then you do something different. So yeah, assuming arguendo, here's the answer. And then you're like, but that's also not true. Yeah, no. You don't, no. No. Can the judge throw out the case? Yeah, they might rule in jurisdiction. If the client's on the call, will they talk or just listen? They should just listen, probably. Will you please use different voices for different people? I'd love to hear my Katie voice. Is Emily attending the hearing too? That's my understanding. I think they meant Toddy and her husband. They might both be there. Yeah. How will KJ keep her mouth shut? Oof. I think the FBI have been watching things around doxing in relation to these cases for at least a year. Both Brown and Saltz agreed to something, yeah. The FBI is investigating what happened to Nat. I mean, I don't know if they are or not. Will lawyers and clients be on the call tomorrow? The lawyers will be. The clients might be. There's no way KJ will keep her mouth shut. Have I looked into how judges ruled in past cases? No, not particularly as to this particular judge. Yeah, the court has issued an order it can't be rebroadcasted. Assuming it's true, also probably because the plaintiffs are bringing the lawsuit to the court. No, it's not because the plaintiffs are bringing the lawsuit that you assume that they're the rights that you assume they're true. It's because they're not the one that made the motion to dismiss. So in this particular context, the person that made the motion to dismiss is the defendant. So then you would assume the plaintiff is correct as to facts. And in the event that Toddy moves to dismiss a counterclaim from KJ, so if KJ makes a counterclaim, Toddy might move to dismiss, and in that circumstance, we'd consider everything Katie says is true. So it just depends what's happening at any given time. Will Nate be watching, listening? Probably not. Does the court have a mute button? If you hire lawyers, you should let them speak. Yeah. It's the non-moving party. Yeah, it's this party that didn't ask for it. That's right. So if Katie makes counterclaims and if Toddy moves to dismiss, then in that situation, we'd consider everything Katie says is true, which will be interesting for you guys as you try to put yourself in that mindset. You try to put yourself in the mindset of, I now am forced to believe everything Katie says is true. That should be entertaining to watch you guys with that one, because I know you guys are not big fans. Yeah, you assume the factual assertions are true for the sake of the argument. Exactly right, Internet commentator. Have curiosity gotten the better of you and watched a video or two? No, that's okay. Will judge say anything about the quantity of filings? Probably. My live is tomorrow. Yeah, and new things did occur. Yes, there was a new filing today. We covered the new filing. Now I'm taking questions because it wasn't that long. So there's 900 of you here, so why not take some questions? I'm feeling better. Thank you for asking. Will the judge simply go on to just the first declaration while they use the amended declaration? There wasn't an amended declaration. There was a supplemental declaration. And I doubt very much the judge is going to get into any of this stuff. If I were the judge, I'd be basically saying, yeah, I'm going to be ignoring a whole lot of this because a lot of it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to be ignoring wide swaths of this. It's nice to be the judge. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to ignore lots of this. Yeah, please hit the like button. I appreciate it as always. 900 of you watching and 200 thumbs up. I appreciate if you give it a thumbs up. Give it a like. What percentage do I give Katie to win now? I'm still at 65-35 on the motion to dismiss. I haven't changed my mind from 65-35 because nothing material has happened in quite a while, right? Oh, this is all crap. We all know it's crap. Nothing material has happened in this case to change the odds in quite a while. So I'm still at 65-35 for Toddy to win on the motion to dismiss. Because nothing substantive has changed that in quite a while. Can I please summarize the original claims that led all this nonsense? Oh, yeah, there was a defamation claim. There was defamation claims for both Toddy and James and the business for a whole bunch of things that Katie said in a whole bunch of videos. There was, I don't even remember, it was like 40 or 45 things that were done in a whole lot of videos. There was a civil harassment claim. There was a negligent infliction of emotional distress, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Was there anything else? But basically it was defamation. Defamation was the core issue. I think there might have been some state-specific thing that I can't remember about, but defamation was the core issue about defaming, maligning the business, defaming, maligning Toddy and James. It's going to be hard to find a jury that hasn't heard any of this? No, it's not. No, it's not. I, the vast majority of the public has no idea this case is happening. I know you guys are invested in it, but not only will it will be super easy, barely an inconvenience to find a jury who's never heard of this. I'm doubtful. I'm doubtful that even one person who's called for jury duty will have heard about this, because this is interesting to you guys, but to the public at large, they have no idea this is happening. Yeah, they're not going to have a hard time finding a jury. They'll just yeah. There were four cease and desist notices. That's right. What exactly is the legal definition of defamation? Well, it differs a little bit from place to place, but the short definition is that you said or wrote a thing. So if you wrote it, it's libel. If you said it, it's slander. And we just call them both defamation. So you said or wrote a thing that is a false fact. So it presents a fact that is false, that you shared this with some other third party. So you weren't talking to the person involved, right? About themselves. So it's a false fact about somebody. And you communicate that to a third party. So not to the person themselves, to some third party. And it was a non-privileged statement, which doesn't come up very much, but so like a context of a privileged statement would be, for example, if you were talking to a therapist, right? So if I defame you to my therapist, that's a third party, but it's also privileged. So that doesn't count. So it's non-privileged. And then you have to have at least negligence. So you were at least negligent in making the false fact. So that's basically defamation 101. It's a false statement of fact that causes injury to a person, injury to their reputation, and it was shared with other people. That's the short definition. Yeah, I mean, guys, before I picked up this case, I had no idea who Toddy was. You guys know I didn't know who Toddy was before I picked up this case. I'm like, what's a Toddy? Even in the early streams, I'm like, what's a Toddy? And now I know way more about than I did before, but I knew nothing about this case, 3 months ago. So I don't think finding a jury is going to be particularly hard. If Toddy wins jurisdiction, will a jury be determined? Not at this stage. We're not close to that. If jurisdiction is decided, the next thing that's going to happen is the answer. So Katie has to present her formal answer, which is all of her defenses, where hopefully we'll pick up the answer for the defamation. And then also Katie can present counterclaims if she has anything that she can sue Toddy for. And then if they do that, then Toddy will probably file a motion to dismiss. We'll argue about that motion to dismiss for a while. And then the next thing that would happen after that is discovery. And that will go on for quite a while. And the depositions should be real. And I definitely want transcripts. But yeah, you'll go into discovery, which is exchange of documents, interviews of witnesses, depositions, all that good stuff. And then at some point down the road, you might get a jury. And then the next thing that would happen after discovery, although it could actually happen earlier than that, would be a motion for summary judgment. So that would be the court has enough information to determine what the facts are, and the court can now decide what the facts are, and given that, they can rule for one way or another. So then you have the motion for summary judgment. And then if that doesn't work, then you're into a jury, or the judge hearing the case, as the case may be. But that's, a year and a half from now. Yeah, your own sisters have no idea who a Toddy or KJ is. Yeah, that's right. Trust the plan. So this will take at least a year? Oh, yeah, sure. Especially with COVID going on. Oh, yeah. Discovery is going to take a while. The depositions are going to take forever. If the witnesses are deemed mentally unfit, what happens to their declarations? Depends how mentally unfit they are. right? So, I mean, there's a lot of mentally unfit people who testify. So it depends on a whole bunch of things, but it can affect credibility, So doesn't Washington have anti-SLAPP? It doesn't matter because we're in federal court. So Washington procedural law doesn't apply. Although I'd have to double check that because there's a difference of opinion among the federal courts as to whether or not state anti-SLAPP laws apply in federal court. So we can talk about anti-SLAPP a little bit in federal courts. That'll be fun for a second. So there's a split of opinion on this. But yeah, first thing you have to know is that federal courts apply the state substantive law, but not the state procedural law. The procedural law comes from the federal courts, not the states. So when you're asking procedural questions, you just look to the federal rules of evidence, the federal rules of procedure, the federal rules of whatever, the case law from federal court, right? The states don't get to decide procedure. So many states have written their anti-SLAPP as a procedural mechanism. It's basically, in many states, it's basically a modified version of a motion to dismiss. It's kind of like a specialized motion to dismiss, which itself is a procedural mechanism. And some states have written it more substantively. So there's a split of opinion among federal courts as to whether or not federal courts apply SLAPP or not. So Washington might have an anti-SLAPP. It just probably doesn't matter because the Washington federal court won't use the Washington anti-SLAPP because that's a state law, not a federal law, don't you know? Kathy says, I've come a long way. Well, thank you, Kathy. That's really nice of you. I see improvement in myself a lot. Thank you. That's very kind. What would it mean for KJ to be treated like a hostile witness? Yeah, people misunderstand the hostile witness thing. All being a hostile witness means is that you get to ask leading questions on direct. That's all it means. It's not that big a deal. I mean, it's a bit of a deal, but it's not like that huge a deal. So there's two when you call a witness, when a lawyer calls the witness, right? So it's my witness because I called them. I can't ask leading questions. I have to ask open-ended questions like, could you describe us the events of February the 1st? What did you do next? And then what happened? And so forth and so on. Like a leading question is a question that suggests the answer. It's not a yes-no question because you can ask yes-no questions. They just can't be leading yes-no questions. So you can have a non-leading yes-no question. Like, so you could say, I don't know, did you drive your car to the park? That's a yes-no question, right? Did you drive your car to the park? It doesn't suggest the answer, but it calls for yes or no, right? So what you couldn't say is, you drove your car to the park, didn't you? Because that suggests the answer. So all being a hostile witness means is I'm calling the witness, but I get to ask leading questions because the witness is hostile to me. They don't want to be there testifying. Right? So then I get to ask leading questions. That's all it means. It's not that big a deal. From Emily Lives, I got the impression that Mr. Brown isn't really good at filing documents. Do I share that opinion? No, I don't. Especially after the motion to dismiss. No, I mean the motion to dismiss was a disaster. You guys know that I thought that, but I thought all the things following that are been pretty good. I don't quite understand the level of hostility from Brown to Saltz at this point, but it must be part of some strategy. But other than that, I think he's been a very good lawyer. So I don't really understand the hostility to Saltz and making it about the other attorney. But I thought except for that, his legal filings since the motion to dismiss have been really good. That's a personal opinion, but yeah. $20 from Garrett Jackson. Andrew F. versus Douglas County School District is something I want to see you break down. Okay. Hopefully one of my, I'll take that down. Thank you. Here's my paid channel so I can make sure to take a note of it. There it is. Oh, yeah, I got one of my mods is already on it. Fantastic. When did you stop beating your wife? Yeah, that kind of thing, yeah. No, no. Yeah, no. I understood it as the question. It was leading. I understood it. Meads versus Meads. Could I pull a Rick and Morty and read out one of the most ridiculous quotes out there? I don't know if I have that voice talent, but it's not a worst idea. Yeah, thanks, A. Hedinger. I appreciate it. DIR says, my hubby is thinking I have a thing for Kurt, so maybe I need a life. Awesome. Could the judge admonish the lawyers for derailing discussions? Yeah, the judge could definitely spank the lawyers around a little bit. Yeah. You seem tired? I'm a little tired. But, you know, it was a short thing, and I've got 1,000 people here, so I'll take some questions. Yeah, best mods in the world. Yeah, that's right, NATO. Absolutely. How many years until this is over? 2 or 3? It depends on a whole host of things, but 2 to 3 sounds like a realistic opinion. No. Yeah, I understood the comment. Did you stop beating your wife? It's a classic leading question. I understood what it meant. I understood it. Do you think there could be some client direction with the hostility? Possibly. Yeah. Yeah, I understood that it wasn't intended as an accusation. I got it. It's a classic. It's a classic. Thank you for being here. You're right. You're welcome, Avery. The hearing is tomorrow. Yes, that is that thing that's happening. Yes. We will be doing that too. Are you going to relay it with sock puppets? Yeah. Uncivil, what's going to happen if or when KJ runs out of money? That's a really good question. I'm not sure how KJ is paying for all this. I mean, KJ's side, I would think, has spent it's got to be like, at this point, especially all these filings, all this stuff. I mean, you're talking $30,000 to $50,000, I would think, just for Brown's side. And it's like, does Katie have $50,000? If they go to deposition, Salts will go over every video tweet lived in regards to Ty, your husband. Yeah, probably. It'll take forever. Natalie says, so many of us are ready to jump to your defense. You're loved. Oh, that's nice. I appreciate that. What's my most interesting case, in your opinion, that you've researched? I don't know. I find them all really interesting. That's why I love the subject so much. But, I don't know. Anything that really just makes me think and really challenges me. That's one of the reasons I love the Supreme Court stuff, because they deal with the most complicated questions. And not in an insubstantial period of time. I read the question, and I'm like, that's a really good question. I don't know the answer. You know, sometimes I know the answer. Sometimes I think I know the answer. Right? I'm like, okay, this is what the answer should be. But sometimes I'm like, I don't even know what I think the answer should be. It's like, that's a really good question. So I like that kind of feeling. Do I feel translating law to frustrating to laymen? No, I enjoy teaching. I love it very much. I mean, I can get frustrated like anyone else, so from time to time I may have been frustrated on stream. That's totally possible. But I don't mind questions, because I like teaching. I love this. This is great. And if I can help simplify things and help correct things, then I'm happy. As a business expense, could all this be a way to get advertising? I doubt that, no, because again, no one has heard of this case. No one will hear of this case. This is not a good avenue for advertising. If the business partner is helping this with costs, would that affect the case? No. It might affect his case in some way, but it wouldn't affect this case, because you can bankroll someone else's lawsuit. So it wouldn't affect this case. It might affect his case in some way, because where's his money coming from? So if he's using company money or something, it might be a problem there. But yeah, you can bankroll someone else's case, so it shouldn't affect this case. Salty is a spendy lawyer, so if KJ ends up on the hook for fees, it could be devastating. Yeah, I mean, the fees in this case, by the time we're done with this case, the fees could be $500,000. Do I have a favorite Supreme Court justice? Scalia, man. He's the greatest. If you run out of money, would you have to defend yourself? Pretty much. Do I think Amy Coney Barrett is well qualified to be Scottish? Yes, I do. Yeah, I think Amy Coney Barrett is well qualified. She hasn't written an opinion yet, so I'm waiting to see what she does. Do I have a favorite court case? My favorite legal opinion of all time is Brandeis's opinion in Whitney versus California. Joseph says, teach until you bang your head against the wall. Love what you do, except maybe the singing. Joseph doesn't like the singing. But you know what everyone can get behind? Halo Beauty. Halo Beauty. There for you when you're answering questions from your chats. Can contempt of court be discussed? Yeah. How's that helpful to courts or cases? Well, what I decide patent law, it was mostly pragmatic, because I was qualified to do it and I didn't want to be in Ohio anymore. There's nothing contempt of court yet. I mean, really. I mean, did it? Even though did anyone notice that even though it was a joint motion, I know, you know how I know it was written by Brown, because it was on the 46-line paper. So even though it was a joint motion, they still haven't gotten the paper right. Will I ever consider going over the Ted Bundy marrying in the middle thing? Yeah. Glad it makes your day. If I don't get a Halo gift basket, I'll be disappointed. Yeah. My address to send me stuff is in the description of the video. Have I purchased vitamins? Not yet. Love the ads. I'm glad you do. What's happening? There's a joint motion to seal, so maybe some cooperation. Do I practice law? Yeah. But I'm looking forward to not doing it very long. I'm hoping this channel grows, so. Or I'm going to have to change fields or something. You'll have to let us know if you prefer the large or baby blendiful. I don't know. Yeah, the biggest Halo Beauty fan is a man who used to say, "What's a toddy?" You can't make this stuff up, folks. Something like that. $5 from Nico for the commercials. Thank you. $4.99 from Strawberry. Nice. That's a good name. Strawberry. That's cute. If this case gets moved to Minnesota, will you come here so I can take you out for great steaks? Sure. That sounds fun. What do I think of the review of VMI's doing of their undercode? I don't know the details to have an opinion. Will Judge admonish Brown for 45-line paper? That could happen too. Honestly speaking, your promotion of Halo Beauty is one of the things I enjoy about the internet as most. Halo Beauty, better come through and sponsor the channel. Thank you. One continue deleting stuff counts contempt. It's not clear if that's happening or not. Can I sue my wife for giving me the Verona Cyrus? Maybe. If the case goes to discovery, can KJ report on the findings from it, or is she not allowed to since she's part of them? Unless there's some order to the contrary, yes. Can anyone report on them? Well, we won't get access to discovery. We won't get access to discovery except in so much as it gets filed as part of a court exhibit or something. There's going to be reams and reams and reams of documents exchanged. I have very little doubt in my mind. And we'll get to see very, very little of it. But yeah, unless there's something prohibiting them from doing it, they can talk about it. But there's no other way for us to do it. Have a chance to look into the Henderson Road versus Zurich. Government insurers or to pay for the business for government lockdown. I haven't seen that one. That sounds fun. A. Henninger, do me a favor and make a note of that in story suggestions or something. That sounds like a case I might want to take a look at. Shrike, Cruise Market and Lockhart, they've jalapeno sausage. That does sound promising. What was the advantage of Toddy filing a lawsuit in Washington instead of Minnesota? In the days of COVID with virtual attendance, I don't know. Because Saltz could presumably get pro hoc vice to file it. So what's the point at this point? I'm not sure. I mean, if we're doing this when we used to have a society and stuff, it would be because it's geographically convenient. But even that doesn't make sense anymore. So I'm not sure what the purpose is, but that's where we are. Yeah. KJ knows people are watching the court. She tweeted about being illegal to stream it. Yeah, she's right. You can't rebroadcast. It's not exactly illegal, but it's a violation of the court's order. So, being a licensed attorney, I'd prefer to not do that. Yeah, it's a public hearing. Yeah, everything's in public. Toddy lives in Washington. What's the name of this case? Westbrook versus Paulson. It's Tatiana Westbrook, James Westbrook and Halo Beauty versus Katie Joy Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball. If we want to do the long name of the case. How'd I do? That's pretty good. Can I make it all? Imagine all the videos Katie's going to make about this. Yeah. Toddy living in Washington doesn't have a lot to do with it. Not really. Last time live, I said it was dick fight. It screamed. That's cute. KJ should live report it, get her view count up. Well, that'd be good. As a party to the case, the judge will definitely smack her around. Katie just named you on your video about streaming it. She's getting her lawyer on her. Okay, well, you know. All right. All right. If her lawyer wants to contact me, that's fine. I'll be happy to listen to him. But I have no intention of violating the court's order. You know, it just prevents me from rebroadcasting or transmitting it. So I'm like, okay, well, I can describe what's happening. I can describe the things I'm hearing about. So, you know, I'll do as much as I can. So, but if Brown or Saltz wants to reach out to me and tell me that I'm not allowed to do this, then okay. I look forward to hearing from Brown. Let me see if he's reached out to me in the last 5 seconds. Hold on. Let's see. Has Michael Brown contacted me in the last 5 minutes? Nope. But I look forward to hearing from him. He can give me a call. He can hit me up on Discord. Kay Joy just called you out on civil. She said you'd be committing a federal crime if you stream. Okay, it's not a crime. It's not a crime. It would be a violation of the court's order. It's not illegal, exactly. But it is a violation of the order. So it's like, no. Uncivil is famous. This has been Katie's attorneys promoting you. I don't know. Is contract law a thing? Of course it's a thing, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. My sister works for MetLife, but she told me she does that. She goes on to heard about headhunters and doing interviews for Johnson & Johnson and Coca-Cola. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Contract lawyer is a big thing, especially for businesses. The amount of contracts they have. Oh, hell yes. Do you have bets on who would win if they took it to the parking lot? I don't know, man. Protect my email? I mean, it's fairly public. But I mean, it's you know, I use two-factor authentication and I use password managers. So I'm doing everything I can like everyone else is, you know. I'm on KJ's shit list now. She's coming for you. Okay. Will you be putting all your Halo beauties on, yeah. I mean, Katie's allowed to have an opinion. She's allowed to have an opinion, so that's fine. Can I be held contempt if I violate the court's order? Yeah. My sub count will rise now. I've been called out by Katie. Yeah. Contract law is your wheelhouse? Yeah. Absolutely. Contract law is definitely a thing for sure. Oh, yeah. It's not exactly illegal. It's just a violation of a court order, which is not great. You know, I'm not 100% sure the court order can apply to me anyway, but I don't want to find out. Yeah. Zag Creation is reporting the details of Stream Live. Yeah. So we'll listen to it and we'll report what we hear. Can't she get into trouble for talking about her case? She can't exactly get into trouble, but it will definitely weaken her legal position. It's not illegal for her to talk about her case unless there's a gag order, but it doesn't help her legal position and legal posture. Does anyone remember the show Paper Chase? I don't remember the show, but the movie was pretty good. Don't give KJ any attention? Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's fine. Did the court disallow it? Yeah, it's a violation of the order. If your sub count doesn't rise, can that be used as evidence of assessing damage? I don't know. Katie can't really come after me. I don't use Twitter because it's a wasteland. I don't use Twitter. I don't check Twitter. And also, last time at least, Katie said that she thought I was being neutral, and she also thought I should stay in my lane, which was a perfectly valid opinion. But I try to be fair. I agree with Katie. I agree with. I mean, I get the definitive sense from the chat that I'm as close to a Katie supporter as exists out there. Or at least the chat seems to. Like, yeah, it's like, so yeah. It's like, I think Katie might be able to win this. I think she has some really promising defenses. So it's like, you're a secret Katie supporter. I'm like, nah. So yeah, I don't know if she'd come after me. Should we expect in the court matter? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the hearing is ostensibly to decide whether or not there should be a status conference, which seems like a strange thing to do. Why not just grant the status conference, which I'm presuming will happen. So I'm presuming the first 5 minutes of it will be motion granted. Now we're having a status conference. What's going on? And there will be some discussions about various things in the case, and the judge probably admonished them for wasting everyone's time. And we might get a ruling on jurisdiction. So a lot of things could happen. It could be a nothing burger. It could be a 5 minute of, okay, we should have a status conference. Let's do that, and we'll reschedule a status conference for date X. So it could be a nothing burger. It could be a lot of things. I don't know. We'll find out together. How do you actually watch it? You can't watch it. You'd have to telephone in. And I'm concerned about that. Yeah. Toddy has grounds. KJ has a good defense. Yeah, I think both sides of the case are really interesting. This is an interesting case. This is a case where I'd feel comfortable arguing either legal position. I could argue Toddy's side, and I could argue Katie's side. It's a pretty good case from both propositions. It's one of those cases where I think I could win it from either. I could win it either way. So, yeah. I'm gonna send this person. Okay. I'm sorry, I have to type this real fast. I know it's a little bit rude, but I have to take care of this. Sorry. Great. Very orange look to your complexion at the moment. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm wearing an orange shirt, so it's probably something. Yeah, it could make a good mock trial or moot court, yeah. She's live on our channel, that's cool. Can the judge limit their ability to keep filing? Yeah. Katie just called someone trash? No, sounds like an opinion. How would you prove it or disprove it? According to KJ, Kurt and Nate are not legal experts. I have heard that. Nate was telling me that Katie was telling him that, he doesn't understand the law. I'm like, kind of think we do. Why do lawyers file these motions, declarations? I don't know what's going on. Have I ever considered teaching in a law school? Yeah, but this is going so well, and it allows me to talk about anything I want, and I got more people watching me than any law school, so this is pretty good. Turn off my blue light filter. What blue light filter? You look orange. Yeah. Do I look orange red? Do I change my lens? No. No. Could be the shirt. If they agree to case being heard in Washington, does the drama go away? Who knows? I wouldn't bet on it. No. Can the judge tell them all to stay off Twitter? Yeah, they could. Wearing certain colors in videos makes your skin tone change. This is a Clemson shirt, guys. This is a Clemson University shirt. So, we're wearing the shirt, man. Can the winner get legal fees? Not unless there's some fee shifting statute that I'm not aware of. Brown is collecting dough. It might very well be. I don't know where Katie's getting the money from, to be honest. Did I get Flonase? I did. Thank you very much. Got a couple Roll Tide people who want to be timed down the channel. That's always good news. I prefer 8th Circuit to 9th. I understand. Took a couple more questions and the stream at about an hour. Did you miss much? Not really. We've just been doing Q&A for a while about the case. Is it possible to refuse service on a lawsuit? Yes. Well, no, not exactly. You can try to avoid service, but you can't exactly refuse it. No, because if they find you, if they come knock on your door and you are inside and and they open the door and you're like, no, they're like, okay, well, I'm just going to put it here outside, and that's close enough. Yeah, I did get the Flonase. I got it yesterday, so we'll see. What's the difference between the 8th and 9th Circuit? I mean, different judicial philosophies. I did go to Clemson. I did. I'm a Clemson grad, class of 04. I'm perfectly happy with the color balance, guys. It's fine. That would be 1 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time. If Toddy wins jurisdiction and defamation, what are the implications for creators and drama channels? Well, it depends. It depends on exactly what the nature of the judge's decision on jurisdiction is. So there are ways that this decision could be written that might be harmful. So, and there's ways that it could be written that won't be. So it depends a lot on exactly what the judge writes. So it's a little bit hard to answer in the abstract, because there's ways that Toddy could win on jurisdiction and it won't be that harmful to creators, but there's ways that it can be. I'm obviously concerned about those. Yeah, I got the Sensimist one, the alcohol-free one. That's really nice. So YouTube creators can't talk about the case? I don't understand what you mean. I'm a YouTube creator. I'm talking about the case. Thank you for liking the shirt. What do I think about Crowder's 7-figure lawsuit against Facebook? I have to look at it. I haven't actually read it, but I should cover it. If you keep covering drama channels, you're going to need to hire a makeup consultant. Fair enough. When you're wearing a Clemson orange shirt, it can make your overall skin tone appear different, and you might want to be concerned about that when you're appearing on camera to your adoring public. So to help counter the skin tone of the shirt, might I recommend the fantastic skincare line of Toddy Beauty. Toddy Beauty Foundation and Primer will help give your skin that luscious, overall warm skin tone and really make sure that your body finds through. And don't forget to finish off with some of the Toddy Beauty eyeliner to really make your eyes pop. Toddy Beauty, when you won't compromise by changing your shirt color, we can make sure that you will be the beautiful person you were always meant to be. Will Toddy KDG be at the hearing? Very probably, yes. Docs will be up on Crowder's website. I'm looking forward to reading it. It's a little hard to believe he has a claim of action, but whoa. Whoa. All right, I gotta take care of something real fast. Hold on. One second. I gotta take care of this. I'm trying to send a text message. It's important that I send, and it's stalling out on me. Uncivil just got a message from Brown. Did I? I'm having problems here. Okay. I need to. Okay. Hold on. I need to take. Okay. I'm just going to end the stream, actually. We've been on here for about an hour. If you're liking this stream, please make sure to give it a like, give it a thumbs up. If you're enjoying the content, please remember to subscribe. And for just 99 cents, you too can become a member. We'll be on tomorrow. I've been Uncivil Law. Till later, my friends. Cheers and goodbye.